Hello my friends, and today there are many changes along the front line, and occupiers have advanced in several directions and seized another village. And let's start the overview from Chasiv Yar. So today Russians, unable to capture Chasiv Yar by May 9th, have decided to forcefully advance towards Kostiantynivka. So the General Staff officially announced Russian attacks near the village of Stupochky, indicating their continued efforts to breach the Siversky Donets-Donbas Canal and possibly aiming to create a pivot point for Chasiv Yar or even reach Kostiantynivka. So, meanwhile, battles continue for the outskirts of Chasiv Yar, with the occupiers attempting to improve their positions, and attacks on Klishchiivka are ongoing, but they haven't made any progress and the front line remains unchanged within the day. In the Pokrovsk direction, so Russian successes have been confirmed and their advancement covers 3 kilometers, 400 meters, and Umanske has fallen under their control, and only a small perimeter of the village remains under Ukrainian control, where fighting continues and occupiers persist with shelling. So, they've also managed to advance towards Yasnobrodivka by nearly 1 kilometer, engaging in battles for the village. And additionally, near Pokrovsk, occupiers have progressed through the fields but 950 meters closer to the village. So overall, the situation is concerning, although Russian advancements are not as significant. They are still notable, and today battles are raging on for Novoalexandrivka, Novoselivka, the outskirts of Umanske, Yasnobrodivka, and Netailove. So fighting is also reported in the Kalinove area. Where occupies pushing the front line towards Kostiantynivka. So within the day, over 20 assaults were recorded in this direction alone, and Zelenskyy commented on the Russian advancements in eastern Ukraine. Okay, in the Kurakhove direction. So there is also bad news, and occupiers have advanced closer to the village of Kostiantynivka by 2 kilometers and 300 meters. So in other areas along the front line, only shelling is reported. However, between the villages of Kostiantynivka and Vodiane, as Elon suspected, they've managed to seize a significant portion of the front line in these fields. So there is advancement here, covers 6 kilometers and 200 meters, and battles in the direction of the village of Vodiane persist. Thus, the situation in Vuhledar is gradually deteriorating. So occupiers are increasingly gaining control over the territory surrounding the city. So battles continue also in the Staromayorsk and Urozhaine areas, but they haven't any successes. So in the Zaporizhzhia direction, so the occupiers continue their attacks on Robotine, and shelling along the front line persist, but they haven't succeeded in this direction either. in the Kherson direction. Shalom of the right bank and attacks on Krinke persist. Overall, this situation remains unchanged, and the Russian military officials in this direction even report a complete failure and have ceased the attacks altogether. So, let me translate for you. In the area of Krinke, there is silence. Our forces didn't attempt assaults. However, the 61st Separate Marine Brigade made unsuccessful attempts to recapture islands in the Dnipro Delta previously lost by this brigade. So, our boats with troops were sunk. Artillery in the Kherson direction is still not active. So, overall, it's evident that the front line is so extensive and even the Russians lack the resources to fully support all directions. So, in the Siversk direction, occupiers continue their attempts to capture Bilohorivka, and battles are ongoing in the area of Verkhnyokamensky. So Shalom continues elsewhere, but the activity in this direction has slightly decreased and Russians haven't achieved any successes. In the Kreminna direction, there is renewed activity. So occupiers are attempting to advance in the forest near Kreminna. So they are storming Torsky and continue attacks via the village of Terny and Nevsky. So trying to cut off the road. So despite ongoing shalom across the entire frontline territory, there have been no successes for the Russians within the day. In the area of Svatove, so battles are ongoing for Stelmachivka and Berestove. So Shalom continues as well, but Russians haven't achieved any new successes in this direction either, and within the day, the front line remains unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, so occupiers continue to storm Synkivka, and attacks have begun on Petropavlivka. So yesterday's battles near Ivanivka were unsuccessful for the Russians, and within the day the front line remained unchanged. So, however, there is a likelihood that the Russians won't delay long in advance from Kupyansk to Kharkiv, and instead they'll try to break through the defense directly at the border with a large number of troops. And Commander Kraken provided details. So, let's see. The Russians may start an offensive on the Kharkiv region in mid-May. So 50,000 troops are preparing near the border, said Kraken commander Konstantin Nemechev. One scenario could be isolating the city by cutting off the main road leading to Kiev. Another option is to move about 10 kilometers closer, bringing the eastern outskirts of the city into the zone of artillery fire and creating a buffer zone to protect Belgorod. So overall, it seems like it will be a hot summer. Meanwhile, as occupiers perish in droves on the front lines to seize foreign territories, Russia held a fireworks display for Victory Day on May 9th. So it lasted for 10 minutes, but unfortunately without the participation of Ukrainian drones. So, and today, Zelensky also stated that Putin won't stop and plans to annex more countries. Okay, and that's all from me. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Of course, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.